Hello everyone, this is Tony Adebola. I'm an entrepreneur and a motorcycle enthusiast. Keep listening to Your Side Mirror on Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. It simply rocks.
All right, it's still Your Side Mirror here on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Beautiful Tuesday morning. Mike James here and
Dayo, Anthony, right here. Okay, so today is a special one because it's both of us holding it down this morning.
Absolutely, yes. And you're going to be, taking over the baton by 9:15. But we have our friends here in the studio already. But very quickly, let's talk about what has gone on so far out there traffic-wise. Traffic emanating from the Odialaro Bridge, where we have counterflow ongoing owing to rehabilitation work, has backed up to Ojota Interchange. Yes, so that's what we're monitoring here via the live camera infrastructure in our studio. But the Maryland access still looks very good to use, connecting the Fade end. And coming from Maryland, heading toward the Odialaro Bridge, I understand some slight traffic is expected because the influx isn't that much, moving through the counterflow corridor. So what else can you tell us?
But looking at New Garage in Ward, Maryland, it's still a busy one.
Of course it is.
How we connecting the fact that slight delay? This is major. This is high influx.
Oh yes, that's true. Yes, a massive influx. Yes, in that direction.
Yeah, but aside from that, heading on to Charlie Boy, I believe Charlie Boy is quite good. It's quite accessible this morning. You have no issues heading towards that direction. And if you're also making use of the Corona Loop linking up to Anthony, it's quite good and accessible.
Absolutely.
From what we can see from the live camera this morning.
Yeah, and the stretch of Yanworo connecting the Third Milan Bridge isn't bad either.
No, it's not. It's quite good because we have people still very much on Ikorodu Road.
Absolutely.
So linking up to the island is still very good.
So let's not forget the alternatives. We have the Mile 12 underneath the Mile 12 Bridge, Ajilogo Corridor, as an alternative if you want to beat that traffic at Ojota Interchange. All right, then, so that gives us ample time to connect with our guests from Ifakoijai General Hospital. And, of course, they're here to talk about the World Hepatitis Day. Yes, hepatitis as a disease. Lots of people do not really have much knowledge about what hepatitis is, but they know that there's a disease called hepatitis.
And some people may not even have heard of it because we have different classes of people. Some may have never heard of the word.
Yes, hepatitis. So we have our friend, Dr. Funmilayo Duro Emmanuel. She's a GI consultant and a hepatologist. She'll be here to enlighten us.
And
more.
she's from the Ifakoijai General Hospital because last week Sunday was the day for World Hepatitis Day.
Absolutely.
And they come into the studio this morning to enlighten our listeners on hepatitis and the viral hepatitis that we have and letting us know it's time to take action.
Definitely. Good morning, madam, and good to have you in our studios this morning.
Thank you.
You're welcome to Lagos Traffic Radio. It's your first time here, is it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Actually.
So how does that make you feel?
Wow. Well, I've been following this radio station for quite a while, and it's been part of what has helped me in navigating the Lagos traffic.
Absolutely.
I'll be honest.
And that's our business. It's all about helping you plan your journey to your destination. So you're welcome here, and you are here on a different mission now, not to talk traffic, but to spread the message to our listeners about hepatitis. So let's begin with what is hepatitis? That's to the layman out there. How would you describe this disease?
Well, before I start, let me just say thank you first. Thank you to Lagos State Government and the spearheading head of Lagos State Government, our chief, Mr. Babatunde Sanwo-Olu, for allowing this forum to exist. I also like to thank the PS of our HSC, Dr. Benjamin Eniayum, and of course, my MD of my General Hospital, Dr. Bamidele SB Mustafa.
All right.
Now, to your question, hepatitis. That word just simply means, I'm going to try and break it down and not make it very technical. It just means irritation of the liver. We will say inflammation of the liver, but irritation of the liver sounds more, And then Many things can irritate the liver.
Okay.
Many things. Alcohol, too much alcohol.
Okay.
We call that alcohol-induced hepatitis. Even your own body can decide to go against you. We call that autoimmune hepatitis. Then there is drug-induced hepatitis. Now, what we have that is most common about all the hepatitis we have, types of hepatitis, is the viral hepatitis.
The viral hepatitis.
Yes, and that is what WHO and everybody tries to project to make it, widespread, the information and about viral hepatitis.
So I want you to take my listeners through the nature of this disease, hepatitis. Okay. Yes.
Now, there are different types of the viral hepatitis.
Oh.
We use it alphabetically, A, B, C, D, E.
Okay.
So, but the most commonest is hepatitis B and C. Now, in the populace and the world, we have so many people that don't know they have the infection. So we have over 304 million people that have been diagnosed every year.
Wow.
Worldwide, yes. So in our own environment here in Nigeria, it's quite prevalent, meaning that there are quite a number of people. If you put 10 people together and you say you want, let's just randomly test them for whether B or C, especially B, you find out that out of that 10, 2 to 3 people would have it without knowing, that
without knowing?
Yes.
But why is it so? Aren't there signs and symptoms?
Most times in our own environment, because of our cultural practices, and we don't know when we get them. Now, I'm trying to be as simple as possible.
Simple as possible, to the layman out
now,
there.
let's focus on B.
Okay, right. Hepatitis B.
Now, for hepatitis, although they are both the same, the way you get it most of the time is the same,
right.
B and C.
Okay.
Now, for how does one get it? Really is two main ways.
Okay.
Through blood and through semen, seminal fluid. Okay. So blood, usually maybe mother to child transmission. A mother that has it can transmit to her child during the time of delivery, not when she's pregnant.
Oh, wow.
It's when she's delivering the baby normally, vaginally, because there is possible transmission of blood from the mother into the baby, into the eyes, the nose, the mouth, anything. So even around that period, we call it the perinatal period. So that time, the baby is at risk of getting it. Okay. Now, even children below the age of 10 can also get it, whether through sexual assault, through, when I say cultural practices, because it's peculiar to us in Africa, especially in Nigeria.
Piercings,
things like, piercing is worldwide. Okay. Things like singbere, as we'll say in Yoruba, incisional marks, tribal marks, traditional circumcision. We don't do that abroad, but they do things like tattoos. Tattoos is becoming very prominent here.
Absolutely.
Yes. So things like that, where you use sharp objects to pierce the skin. If those sharp objects are not sterilized, we're not talking about clean. Clean is just soap and water.
Yeah.
But sterilized meaning using a special chemical to clean that instrument of any germs that could possibly, because those viruses are very stubborn.
Oh, yes, I was going to ask, is it a virus or
it's a
some
virus.
Form of bacteria?
It's a virus.
Okay.
So they're all viruses.
All right, so let's talk about the signs and symptoms that we have to be on the lookout for. That will make you know, I'm going down with this, or this could be Hepatitis, what is happening around me.
Okay. Now, because as I said, you might not know, most times people have gotten these things when they were younger.
Okay.
Much younger. And then you now go for a test. Maybe you're going for a job interview, you're a woman, you're going for antenatal. There must be a reason. Or you want to travel out and you want to do medical checkup.
Good.
So there are reasons. It's not just anybody that will say, okay, I'm going to the lab. I just want to go and do hepatitis B test. So nobody knows that. So it's when you go for any of these things and then you are now screened and you are now found, okay, you have this is positive.
As
so
a viral
most
hepatitis.
Times, yes,
okay.
Most times that's how people know. Now, we call that chronic, meaning that it has been in your system for
a long time.
Anything 6 months and above, we call it chronic.
Okay.
Wow.
Chronic does not mean you're dying tomorrow. It just means the length of time that it's been in your system. Now, those that are acute are those that show the symptoms, and it's most like it behaves like malaria, where you have
cold,
joint pains, you're not feeling too well, you have a slight fever, your body is hot, it's not as hot as if you should have malaria, you just feel unwell. And a few days after, you now notice that your eyes are yellow, and your urine changes color from yellow to dark, almost Coca-Cola, dark color, So, and of course, the liver, which is where the virus loves to stay in. Yes, that's why we call it irritation of the liver, because that's where the virus goes to stay. So the liver stretches out, reacts, and then becomes a bit bigger. So the stretching will cause a bit of pain. So when you have all that, of course, you will go to the hospital.
Absolutely.
And then because of that, you'll be tested. Because malaria too can behave like that. Other viruses can behave like that. So you're tested. And when you're tested, you test, and then they find out, most likely you have acute hepatitis B or acute hepatitis C infection.
All right, so let me come in here and say, what's the level of awareness in the world and Nigeria, because we are particularly very concerned about Nigeria? What's the level of awareness about the danger and the health issues that comes with hepatitis?
Yes.
Now, it's quite low. Awareness is quite low, and that is part of the reason why we're doing this. The awareness is, and if you keep people informed, then they will know what to look out for. Okay, but let's say that as we said, it was over 304 million people that would have been exposed to this at one time or the other, to hepatitis B, and out of those 304 million, maybe less than 30%
aware of the existence of hepatitis.
And then even less are even treated, So the danger is, when you do a test, I said that most people don't know. And then you go for screening and you find out, you have hepatitis B. Okay, so what do you do from there? And there's nothing wrong with me. I'm okay. It's just a blood test that says I'm positive. Do you understand? and I said most cases, such people are known as chronic. So the danger there is, even though it may not be obvious for the chronic carriers, but there is something in your liver and is irritating your liver. After a while, there will be side effects.
Absolutely.
It may not always go to the extreme bad side, but there is something going on and it has to be looked into. So what are the bad things? Those bad things could be your liver could shrink. It could become rough like an untarred road. So it becomes difficult for blood to navigate. It may even fail. The workings of the liver may fail,
But can someone mistaken hepatitis for jaundice? Are there similarities?
Jaundice is just a part of hepatitis. Jaundice just means yellowness of the eyes and the skin.
It's more like they are family, and it has different.
Yes, it's just a symptom, meaning it's something you complain about.
Okay.
The yellowness of your eyes is what you would see
as a sign.
That is what we call jaundice.
Oh, okay.
But still, yellowness of the eye is still synonymous to hepatitis.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not, because a sickler could be jaundiced because the red blood cells are breaking down.
Okay.
So it's the rapidness of breaking down that would cause that to become yellow. So there are different causes of jaundice.
Okay. So back to hepatitis. Can this disease be treated?
Yes.
Curable.
Yes.
It can be treated.
Is it curable?
No.
It's not curable. It can be managed, right?
If it is manageable, if it's been there for a long time, if it's a chronic one, no, it cannot be cured. It can be managed. I usually say, think of it as something like hypertension or diabetes. It can be managed. You'll be followed up. You'll be looked on. But if it is an acute one, where I explained that your whole body, you think it's malaria, your immune system can take over and help you defend your body, which is what it's supposed to do, and remove it from your system if it's an acute thing. Okay, that means a recent exposure to the virus.
Okay, so, but staying long in the system,
once it's there for so long, it's like an uncle that grew up with you, and you call that person your brother.
All right, just on to Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Be listening to the voice of Dr. Funmilayo Duro Emmanuel. She's a GI consultant and hepatologist, and we're talking hepatitis this morning.
Yeah, second hepatitis, because Sunday 28 was World Hepatitis Day, and of course Nigeria not been left out. Creating awareness, we're also part of those who are affected, and so we're creating awareness about people's knowledge on hepatitis, the danger, the signs, the prevention, and I'm going to ask treatment. And I'm going to add, does hepatitis kill?
Mm-hmm. Is it a deadly disease?
It's part of, yes, it does. It does. It does kill, in the sense that it can cause cancer, liver cancer. But although it's not everybody that's had it or has
died of it. So what are the figures?
Well, if you say let me break it down. If you say 10 people that have chronic hepatitis B infection, maybe one person can develop complications that could lead to death. So it's like 1%. But the thing is, to that person, it's a lot,
All right. So your message as we round off on the program this morning, what's your message to those who are listening to us on hepatitis?
Okay. Hepatitis, viral hepatitis, it's very important for you to know that it exists. It is not a spiritual attack, because that's what some people would say. And you need to know your status. And if you know your status, if you do a test to know your status, you can go from there to see a specialist. It's not just enough to see a general practitioner. See a specialist who can take good care of you. Avoid things like alcohol, things like agbo, energy drinks, things that would further deteriorate or harm your liver. So, and then you can, if you're not diabetic or hypertensive, please, you can eat whatever you want, as long as you're not diabetic or hypertensive. Because I get a lot of people that said, oh, that means I cannot eat protein, I cannot eat groundnuts, I cannot eat this. No.
How often should one do the test, the regular check on hepatitis? How often?
Well, as long if you do it once, and it's something you can do maybe annually or once in 3 years.
Once in 3 years.
Yes, it's not, as long as you just know your status.
You know your status,
and then you can always check up on that to be sure.
All right, Dr. Funmilayo, our time is fast spent, I'm afraid. We must let you go now. Thank you. And Lagos, I've been talking hepatitis with Dr. Funmilayo Duro Emmanuel. She's a GI consultant and a hepatologist. Of course, she's been on the campaign for quite some time now, enlightening listeners and the world itself about this disease. Thank you so much for coming around this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, I want to thank you to Mrs. Abiola Osike, who is also doing the background work here. She's very much here in the studio. And to the Fakojaye family, I want to say well done to everyone. Pushing the work on the medical issues, letting us know different things. I want to say well done to you and your team. It's been a pleasure having you in the studio this morning.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here.
All right, Lagos. So that's it on the first segment. Next up will be the birthday shout out segment, but I'll be coming up in a beat. Stay here.